So as I arrived here this morning and took a look at the agenda, I'm reading titles: President, Senator, Supervisor, Mayor, Executive Director, Senior Vice President, and Senior Project Manager, and Resident. I was senior resident, thank you. And the first person I thought of was Marina. Now you may not remember this, but our residency, my wife Carmen and I, started over 30 years ago in Hampton Bay. And I was involved with the softball, and you were involved with the recreation league. And it so happened at one of the games I got into it was a heated discussion with one of the other players. And you suspended me for a game. Not that I will forget that. But I got to tell you, our life started here 30 years ago, over 30 years ago. We've created a lot of friends. We have family. And this is such a wonderful opportunity for us. You're not creating housing. You're creating homes. Each of us has our own home here now. And we're creating new family, we're creating new friends. For the residents here, we want to thank all of you that have created this opportunity for us. And we appreciate it, and it's such a wonderful design and development that we're privileged to be here. Our story starts with having been here for 30 years. I've owned a business here. I was in a custom cabinet business. And in the early 90s, in the turn of the economy, I decided, the business decided that I should do something else. And I went to work for, at that time, Pacific Bell, which turned into SBC, which turned into AT&T, which turned into a new company that was called YP. And in February of this year, I was given the opportunity to retire. That's a little bit of a incorrect description of given the opportunity, but I retired. As with a lot of big companies, there are changes. And it couldn't have been better timing for us that this project came online. Now we have a tie to the old Bloom Gardens here. My wife's mother lived there, and her friend John. John still lives here. Her mother has since passed away, but we were aware of the housing availability in Half Moon Bay for a long time. And as we anticipated retirement, we started to understand that based on our income projections, they were going to be a little bit limited, and we were not going to be able to stay in Half Moon Bay. We weren't. We couldn't afford it. Housing in Half Moon Bay for renting is unbelievably expensive and very limited. So we were starting to look around, and we looked at the Central Coast. One of the things you had mentioned was the bike racks. Can I request a surfboard rack? And anyone who would like to join me as the Half Moon surf team, I'd love to have you come out with me. But as we looked around, we looked at coastal areas, and they're always very expensive. We even looked in North Carolina. But they all lacked one thing. They weren't Half Moon Bay. And you can't compare any place else to here. So when the opportunity came up, and we found about this development, as soon as we could, we put our name in. And then we waited. And we waited. And then we got a phone call. And we were told about, here's all the paperwork you need. And by the way, the staff here is incredible. Hilda, Michelle, Monique, Natalia, Ellen, terrific people to work with. So we were able to come in and interview. and we went through all the processes, and we were able to get qualified. Now, one of the things I haven't told you about is why this is so important to us. It is about friends, it is about family, it is about community. But I'm also involved in a nonprofit. I help run a nonprofit. It's called Indo-Jack Surf Charities. Now, we're based out of the East Coast in Wilmington, North Carolina. And we do surf camps for kids with autism, for kids with juvenile diabetes, cystic fibrosis. We've worked with the Helen Keller Foundation and have held camps for kids that are blind and hearing impaired. And this next year, we are going to be doing our first 3 camps in California in Half Moon Bay for kids with autism. If it wasn't for the availability of this housing, that would not happen. And so, because of that, our story is we get to stay, we get to participate, and we get to do our camps. And so for that, and for all the residences, thank everyone that's been involved in this.